just a small session to make you understand as to what you should be doing for your 2-year master's entrance exam preparation course. Now, usually, whenever we talk about a 2-year program, this is meant for the students to give more time to their basic and intermediate concepts. So what I want my students to do in this 2-year program is to focus on the basic and intermediate level. In the first year, and focus on the advanced level in the second year. For example, let me talk a bit about consumer theory. Now, when you look at consumer theory, you will notice that this is covered as part of the basic video lectures. But in basic video lectures, you will understand what is demand, what is supply, what is elasticity. And there will be one chapter from ManQ which would be talking about what is indifference curves, substitution effect, income effect definitions. Now, when I progress this to the intermediate level, you will see that this intermediate level will cover complete variant. So in the intermediate level, all chapters of variant from 1 to all across 33, whichever is important from the entrance exam point of view, all those chapters would be there in the intermediate module. Now, the same concept that you studied here of ICs in one video would be spread across multiple chapters and multiple videos. So for example, chapter 2 will be budget line, then you will have preferences, then you will have utility, then you will have choice, then you will have demand, so on and so forth. Now you will be doing the same concept in much detail. So when I talk about budget line, it will be talking about right from what is a budget line to what is a food stamp program to different concepts of budget line. When I talk about preferences, utility, choice, you will be looking at what are ICs, what is a convex preference, what is an MRS, how to derive this mathematically, what is an IC when it is substitute goods, what is an IC when it is a Leontief function, what are the Leontief function, production functions, everything. What is an IC when it is complementary goods, etc. So you would be focusing in detail on each and every topic. In the intermediate videos, after each chapter, you are given assignment to solve. This is actually based on the workbook of Varian. This is what you have to do definitely as part of your first year of this 2-year program. If you do not do this, things would be difficult in the live lectures when you actually go to the advanced videos. When you actually start with me in detail, advanced microeconomics, and you haven't done this variant part in detail, it will become difficult. So what you have to do is, to begin with, you have to start with the basic videos, begin with one subject at a time. So, currently we are beginning with microeconomics. In microeconomics, we have basic and we have intermediate. The aim should be that this basic should be covered in the next 1 month. So, the month of October is only for basic videos, not a step beyond that, only the basic videos. Or whenever you enroll for the course, the first month is only for your basic videos. After you have done that, the next 4 months are for your intermediate videos. So you will be dedicating 5 months to basic plus intermediate microeconomics. Now, this microeconomics, when you start the intermediate level, would require you to know differentiation, require you to know integration, and many other stuff. Like, for example, what is a Lagrange? How do you do multivariate optimization, etc. For the maths part, this maths, even if you don't do the basic videos, you have to do each and every lecture of the intermediate videos. So if you think that you are not very thorough with basic differentiation and with basic integration, my suggestion would be to go ahead and to pick up on this maths simultaneously in these 5 months. But if you think you know differentiation well, you know integration well, sequence, series, all of this maths part of difference equation, differential, that is not coming in micro. So if you think that you know the basic maths, at least you know how to partial differentiate, you know that if a function z is a function of x and y, then you know how you can go ahead and write dz, del f by del x dx plus del f by del y dy. So if you know how to at least do basic differentiation, you can begin with micro. You can do maths after micro. These are the only 2 subjects I want you to be thorough with in the first year, first of all. But if you think that you don't even, you have to go back and you have to look at differentiation, integration, then my suggestion would be to put in a little more effort and every day dedicate 2 hours. 1 hour to be dedicated to microeconomics and 1 hour to be dedicated to maths, so that you are thorough with the 2 concepts equally. Even if you're good with maths and you can go ahead and dedicate 2 hours, it would be a good idea to go ahead and pick on micro and maths simultaneously. Then you can take even 6-7 months to complete micro plus maths. Now, when you do this and you come to the second year of the program, that is when I will introduce you to the actual kind of questions that come in the entrance exam. So, for example, as I told you, in basic micro, you will just learn what is IC. In intermediate micro, you will learn U is equal to min of AX, BY. But in the advanced level of microeconomics that you will be doing in your second year of this program, you will learn this. U is equal to min of XY plus max of XY. Or U is equal to min of X plus Y, 2X, something like this. So you will be learning composite utility functions. Now this can only be understood if you know these 2 things well. So this year is the year to be thorough with Varian and all the videos related to Varian. It's the year to be thorough with Snyder, with Snyder and Hammond, so that it can be used in the next year. In the first year of this program, I do not suggest my students to go to Snyder or to go to AC Chiang in maths. So this year is only Varian for micro and Hammond for macro, for maths. Next year, we will go ahead and together do Snyder thoroughly. Do all past year questions of DSC, ISI, IIT, etc. And we will do here AC Chiang thoroughly. This year, you're not supposed to go to that level. You just have to be thorough with this and do all the assignments provided. Now, once you dedicate these 6-7 months to micro and maths, and you reach the month of March or April, I will show you the IIT paper once of the year. This year IIT paper is on 12th of Feb 2023. So have a look at that IIT paper, and I can bet on it that you should be able to solve 60 to 70% of the paper just by doing the intermediate level. And that's the cutoff. The cutoff is not even more than that. So ideally, just by doing the intermediate level, you would be able to crack IIT, SAU, IGIDR, Ferguson, JNU, Jamia, Madras School of Economics, etc., etc. What you would not be able to do is DSC and ISI. I mean, you would be able to do some questions, but not completely. That is what we would be refining when we jump on to the second year. But for now, the aim is to cover micro and maths thoroughly by March or April. And since the new batch would start by the end of May, then from March to May, we will go ahead and brush up on a little macro and stats. Don't even try touching this now. Touch on the topics which are of more importance, not only when it comes to your entrance exam, but also when it comes to doing your masters. If you take admission in Delhi School of Economics, everything is going to be mathematical. So maths and micro is what you have to focus on for the next 5-6 months. Now, you have to go ahead and post your doubts in the group that we have. This is important. And these should be, I mean, if you look at the one-year programs that we run, students flood the group with doubts. Every day I respond to 100 to 150 doubts a day. That's the kind of questions that come up every day from Varian Workbook, from Snyder, etc., etc. But you are more focused currently. You can focus on each and every question of the Varian Workbook and ask your doubts from that. You can focus on each and every question of the assignment and ask your questions from doubts from that. So you have more time as compared to them. You should not be wasting that time. You should be putting your questions in that group and asking them on continuous basis so that they can be cleared on the spot. That is the only way I know that you are putting in effort at your level. So every day I would expect you to pick up on one thing. So for example, today I am only doing chapter 2 budget line. You are reading only this chapter. No problem. After you have seen the lectures, whatever smallest doubt you have, for example, if you don't understand what is a numeraire price, or if you don't understand why the food stamp budget line was like this, you put in the question and I will answer that. But this is the only way I know that you are going through the content and you are understanding it. Very shortly, I would be beginning a test series. This test series would be for microeconomics. First of all, this will go from now till December, and then I will give you some tests related to maths. I would like you to cover at least some microeconomics so that when you sit for these tests, you can solve some questions. I'm not expecting you to go ahead and solve 100%. I will expect you to do that by next December. But by this December, you should at least solve some of those questions from test. So the aim is that, out of 10, you should be able to score a 4, a 5. I'm fine with that. But by next year, you should be scoring a 9 or a 10 in the same test when I give that to you. When I give you those questions next year, you should be more thorough with them. So the idea for today's class was to meet you guys, to tell you how to go ahead and plan the next 4-5 months and not waste them by not understanding what to do. You pick up on small topics daily. Consistency is the key, but do it on daily basis. Don't think that, okay, the entrance exam is far, I don't have to study from now. That's not the point. The point is to be as thorough with the basic and intermediate microeconomics as possible. If there is any question, I can take those questions. You can post it in the chat or unmute yourself. Anything you would like to ask me, anything that is not clear to you?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Right, so I'll go ahead. Do we need to practice just the assignments at the end of the lecture, or do we need to, refer to a book or something?
You need to only do the assignments at the end of the chapter. They also constitute the Varian Workbook questions. So you don't have to refer to anything else except the assignments. That's it.
Ma'am, I've already almost gone through the basic part of the microeconomics. So
Okay.
What I was asking was I would like to revise it the second time in the month of October. And while doing it, I would like to break it up between the basics and the intermediate level. So is that possible, or should I focus exclusively on the basic level once again?
No, you should just start with intermediate now. So that when you will be doing intermediate, you will see that a lot of part would be building upon what you have done in the basic videos. So you don't have to do the basic anymore. Begin with the intermediate videos now. And in case you think that there is still a doubt, maybe I'm referring to, let's say, deadweight loss. And let's say that when you're doing deadweight loss in intermediate videos, you did not grasp the concept very clearly, then you can refer back to the concept from basic videos. Otherwise, you can start with intermediate if you have done the basic videos. No need to go through them again. Nothing in the entrance exam will come that basic. It is just for building a base.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else that we have? So I would expect you to be posting more questions in the group now, more doubts, so that I am aware that you are reading through the stuff. Whenever you do a lecture, make sure that you write the relevant notes related to it, so that next time you don't have to go through the entire video. You can just look through those pages and you can skip over the next time. When by the end of the 2 years, when you would be sitting for an entrance exam, you will have ample content, because you have to make 2 to 3 registers only for the advanced microeconomics lectures. So at that time, you will not get time to go back to the basic or intermediate videos per se. Only whatever notes you have made will help you to sail through. So, the idea is you write each and everything in a notebook, whatever is there in those videos, so that when you sit with me for the live lectures in advanced lectures, you already have written everything down at least once. So it will be fresh in your mind. Okay. So anything else, anything that you have in mind, any doubt for now? Okay. Thank you then. Yes.
Just the last question, please.
Yes, please.
After finishing the video, I have got a copy of Hal Varian's Microeconomics with Calculus. So after finishing the intermediate microeconomics video lecture-wise, shall I read that again from the Hal Varian copy?
Not required. Hal Varian is what is completely recorded. So if you have gone through the videos, that would not be required. that would be like the notes would be, the videos would be more than sufficient to understand the intermediate level. It's just that once you have understood the concept, the idea is to practice a lot of questions. So for example, you should know what happens if, I am writing min of ax comma y versus what happens when I am writing min of x comma ay. What happens when they are writing in the question that a person adds 3 teaspoons of sugar with 2 tea bags versus 3 tea bags with 2 teaspoons of sugar. So you should know that when I'm writing this min function, these A and B parameters, they tell me the ratio in which I consume the two goods. So what will be my A? What will be my B? That is what needs to be practiced. That is why I'm focusing more on the assignments. So you go through the lecture, you go through preferences, you go through utility, but then you go back to the assignment and solve these questions. And then, you ask your doubts from that. As far as reading is concerned, the videos are more than enough. Even if you skip the book, it is fine. If you have a habit of reading through the book, you can revise through the book. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else that you have? Okay. So what I'll do is now you can start posting your doubts, and every once in a while we will keep a live session so that we can interact. We can see what our doubts are. We can see how to progress. Where are we now? And, we want to go ahead and be sure that when we start with the live lectures, we are very thorough with the basic and intermediate, micro and maths. Macro, I am always, a little less stressed because I know my students do those in 2 to 3 months. It is micro and maths that I want students to focus on. Okay, thank you so much.